So we want to start by asking you a very simple question. So how do you want to tell the story of the student protest from the perspective of a storyteller?
Okay, about the student protest that I am in the observer now.
Okay.
I think it's quite very interesting situation happened in Thailand because of in the storyteller views. At first, I want to share that in the storyteller opinion, we always look this world like a story. Story happen everywhere,
Okay.
not in the fiction, not in the theaters. The story happen in the real world, in the reality.
Everyday's life. Yeah.
Everyday life, and the story named Thailand political story is the big story that we live together in this
right.
story.
Yeah.
And the new character come already named student. It's very interesting for me.
Okay.
So from a storytelling perspective, what is your take on the current student protests that are going on?
The most interesting part about it.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of this story, reality story, is about, I think every people know that we live in the big story named Thai political story. And we stuck in the same point for a long, long time. Maybe about 15 years or 20 years.
That's right. Yeah.
And in the storytelling ways, when you watch a movie or see a play in the theaters, when the plot stuck in the same point for a long time, it's so boring. And how did the director or the writer do for the new chapter? They give the new character into the plot, right?
Okay.
Like a novel and like a movie. When the newcomer of character come into the plot, they change it to the next scene and the next chapter. And now this happened
I see.
in Thailand.
Wow. Now we are still stuck with the same old plot, but
Yes.
with new characters.
But with new character, they open to the new chapters.
Okay.
And so what is the unique aspect of effective character in your perspective?
Okay. About the storytelling ways. Okay, I want to share you like this. In the storytelling, it's not about tell a folk tale to people or fiction or movie. In my career, I work like a storyteller and I teach something called storytelling communication. Storytelling communication is about how to use story to help you communicate to people. Because of storytelling is not about a good line or a good sentence or word. It's about how to push a story in the audience mind. And you can transfer your true meaning to the audience.
Yeah.
And three most important element in the storytelling is about a strong story and telling skill. And another is character. In the business way, we call personal brand something.
Okay.
And in this plot, we call this character. The character is so important because of everybody can say the good word or good line, but only few people can make a bonding to audience mind, can make a trust to audience. It came from character, and this happened in youngster in Thailand. This character is so stunning.
So who are the new characters that we should keep an eye on? The main characters that are running the show now.
Okay, in my view, I catch up on Parit. Penguin is the most important character in the youngster.
Okay.
And another character is about a pack of the student. A huge and a pack of the student is included in another character. That's so interesting.
So why is Penguin so outstanding, you think?
Penguin is so outstanding because of, okay, in the storytelling way, we always explain the characters, the effective character from three parts. The first is about appearance. His look or his appearance is very unique, and his name is about it came with his appearance. Penguin. We always meet penguin name like a cutie animal, animation or something like that.
Like in pop culture.
Yeah, in the pop culture. But this penguin, this human being penguin, he's like a lovely dangerous. Have a powerful and leader, guilty pleasure something.
I see.
he showed the different meaning of penguin we families.
So speaking of penguins, we usually perceive them as cute, innocent, or sometimes funny. But this activist penguin has given us a whole new meaning. So if you have to describe this penguin, what would be the 3 characteristics that would you name?
I compare it when you watch a movie or cinema. The protagonist, the main characters, always catch your eyes immediately from his appearance, his name, and the second is about his purpose and belief. You know, the main character always have a strong belief, what they stand for, what they believe in, and this young guys show what he believe in Thailand story. That help him stand out from another kind of character in this big story in Thailand.
So it comes with how he deliver his message, right?
Yes. He stand for his belief and he always deliver same message and bigger message.
So the strong penguin who has strong emotions and strong demands, and
Yes.
what sort of changes he wants to see, basically.
Yes. And another element that is the most important element for effective character is about backstory. Everybody have backstory, and about this young man, penguin. We know that he have a backstory with Prime Minister. When he was just a student, he come to the Kun Prayut after his announcement something, and he have a lot of backstory, and he can push his trust into a lot of audience mind because of he's the real thing, he's the real one, not the stranger just come and shout in the good word like in Thailand we always believe. I wonder why we always believe in a beautiful word and a beautiful speech. A lot of people try to invent a beautiful speech, but if I say beautiful speech like I love you and I love this society and I will change this society, it's just a word. But the story is different. The story can share the real meaning to the audience mind.
But do you think that because of his character, especially the way he delivers his message, do you think that Penguin is being seen by most people as being a leader in a way, or just another sort of activist?
Now, I think he is a leader already from his activities. A lot of things he did, and he is a leader already. And for me, in the story, the character called leader, his real duty is not about lead people outside. It's about enlighten a new thought or a new mind to people. This is the duty of a leader, and I think Parit quite do it so well.
Okay. No, but if you remember well, the students' movement has been careful not to be seen as having leaders, right? They call themselves leaderless movement, right? But Penguin, I mean, maybe by default, because of his character, because of the power of his speech, then he certainly has become recognized as a leader. But in the broader picture, how you see the student movement as a whole? What kind of character do you see?
Okay, about the pack of students.
Yeah.
I think a pack of students is another kind of effective character because of their appearance. They came in the uniform. This is the new thing happening in Thailand because we found a lot of protests in another kind of suit. But okay, a student wore uniform,
School uniform,
and okay, in daytime went to school. After school, went to on the road, go to the mob and have a sign, white ribbon, and decide about 3 finger. The most effective character is in the story always have a sign, and the meaning of the sign show the powerful of this character. If you look into the history, like in the ancient time, a leader of tribe, a human who wore a bear skin and a bear head over his head, they show his sign.
Mm.
I kill a bear.
Uh-huh,
I'm
okay.
so powerful. And now, three fingers.
Fingers,
His sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the student is so the effective character for me.
I see.
And students are often perceived as naive or too young to understand the real world because of the Thai society.
Yes.
Do you think the ongoing protest has challenged how people think about young people, or has it solidified people's views about them?
Okay, it's a good question because of as a storyteller, I always explore and observe every kind of story happen in this new generation, in this new world. And you know, now a lot of Thai people addict a Western series, drama, a Korean series, something. And if you watch the series, you will found that at the first chapter of the first season, you may hate some character and you may love some character.
Yep.
But at the end of the first season, the character you hate, you turn to love them.
Oh,
And the character you love, you turn to hate them.
Because you've seen different sides of them already.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And in Thai drama or in Thai fiction, we familiar to meet very stereotype character.
Yeah.
Good man is so good in every kind, and bad man is bad all the time. Even though they sleep, they still bad something. It's quite an old-fashioned character for me. And now, in the Western and Korean, create the most effective character in their fiction. And in about Thai student,
Yeah.
they show another perspective of the word student, not naive anymore. They just born after us, younger in the years that they live in this world, but they have brain, they have emotion, same like adult.
I see. So the characters we have been talking about are mainly the students, right? But how about the other side, the opposite side? You have the government, you have the prime minister, you have the opponents of these students. So how do you see those characters?
Okay, I see in the character from the other side, like big guys in suit with salary something. It's quite old-fashioned for me because of big guys and adult or politician or something. As I told you, they always invent a good speech and a good line, and they still believe in the good line. I love you. I miss you. If I say to you, I miss you, maybe you're worried about what do you want from me? You are a pretender or a betrayer or something, or you miss me, you really miss me. Different meaning happen in the audience mind because of, prime minister, a lot of politicians have a lot of backstory. Some good backstory, maybe a lot of bad backstory that help make people to very confused when they shout out loud. And the problem is about, and the most problem is about, not about the word. In the storytelling communication, I always concerned about telling the story to people and take the action to the people too. You cannot only tell good story to people, you must take action in the reality world too. Because of the reality is another kind of the story too. And then a student take action and shout out loud. I have a sign, I have a really crystal appearance in the uniform, and have a name very interesting like a little penguin, a new penguin.
I see.
I think stronger than old guys.
And then most importantly, I think the demands they make sense.
Yes,
I think that's the most important thing, the message that they have been sending out.
makes sense. And the heart of the storytelling is not about force people. You know, in the ancient time, when the storytelling art was born, our ancestors invent this art not for force people to believe what they want to force, but the storytelling help people to look in the information and let people to think by themselves, analyze by themselves, and make decision by themselves. This is the art of storytelling. And then you can see maybe a big guy want to force another. You must believe me.
I see.
Even though you are not good something, but when you saw the stage of the student stage, they show their performance, they play, they sing a song and have a lot of sign. They show the story to people. That's why they're so powerful.
And within that art of storytelling, they're also used a lot of cultural references, such as the three-finger salute from Hunger Games, or even the Hamtaro or Harry Potter. In your perspective, are these cultural references effective in terms of conveying their message?
I think about Hamtaro or Hunger Games something. Is quite a very effective tool to use them in this situation, because of if you create a new sign, you must educate the people what the sign meaning, the first finger mean and the second finger. But a lot of stories happen in the same time. Hunger Games happen in the theaters. People like happen in the real world. And a lot of story happen in the school. But when a lot of story meet each other, we can borrow a style of Hunger Games to use. I think it's quite very easy to understand. And yes, I agree totally.
Yeah, people can really relate it to the meanings of these signs. So from the perspective of a storyteller, how do you think the story should end? So to be a good story.
A bit tough, right?
Okay, actually I don't know. But the nature of story is about throw the information, throw a lot of element in this story to people, and then create a safety space and let the audience came in the safety space and share each other's. And after that, we will know the next chapter and the next step. I still believe that a lot of people hope that we will be reached in the happy ending and peace at the end of this story.
Yeah.
But we can't deny that the most important section in this storytelling is about the climax scene. In every fiction, the climax scene is the most important space. And in climax scene, we must face and force and fight each other to find the way to end of this story. And this is going to be happen, I think.
Would you say the September 19 protest that will be going on, would it be the climax for the story, or will there be another climax after that?
Another climax. Another climax. I think it's like a first step.
Pre-climax.
Yes, the climax. Because I'm still waiting for a new character and a new situation that turn to the next chapter, next chapter.
So what can we learn from the student protest, and what can we learn about Thai society in general from this storytelling methods?
Okay. For me, in the storyteller's views, I think the most important that we can learn in Thai political big stories is about, I would like to share my own view, because I think that we can learn that please give your own time after you got a news, you got a message, you got the information, The art of storytelling is about share story to people and let people make their own decision. And then we can learn to give our time, our own privacy time after we listen to the news and critique by yourself, analyze by yourself, and make your decision by yourself. Because of everybody different and everybody is beautiful. Even though you are my friend or you are my family, I should make my decision by my own self.
Yeah.
And then please calm down before angry. Calm down before make decision.
Okay.
Calm down.
All right. So would you agree with me that in this story, is the audience that will be rewriting the final chapter?
I'm waiting for it. I still catch up on it, and it's very interesting. I don't know.
But it's the audience, I think, that will be responsible for writing the final chapter. Because the characters we're talking about, they are the key players, yes. But in this context, I think the audience will be playing a very important role.
Yes, the audience is the most important role in this chapter. We live in new chapters already now,
Yeah.
not the old chapter. We are in the new chapters already, and the audience is
Okay.
one kind of character.